Art Solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello viewers, welcome to Art Solutions Daily Current Affairs. I'm Lokesh Penugunda. This session is designed for aspirants who are preparing for banking, groups and such other competitive examinations. We prepare news articles from both the Hindu and the Indian Express. Make use of this session. Our first article is dealing with the new declassification policy which is approved by the Ministry of Defence. Yesterday, the Minister of the Defence, who is Mr. Rajnath Singh, has approved the new declassification policy formally. So what is the new declassification policy dealing with? This policy has stated that the records or the reports which are categorized as classified would be declassified after 25 years ordinarily. So ordinarily, whatever records that have been categorized as classified will be declassified after 25 years. So what do you mean by classification and declassification? A MNC or a country might have some information which it feels is important, and it feels that this is a secret information that is helpful to their own firm or to their own company. So what it would do is it will categorize these information or document or record as classified information so that only authorized individuals can access these important documents. And when you declassify it, that means that you are making this document and information available to more people at large. And now when I say that the Ministry of Defence will be declassifying the documents after 25 years, it means whichever documents, whichever records that were accessible only by few individuals earlier can be accessible by more number of people from the government or even from the public administration as well. So this stating that ordinarily after 25 years we will declassify it. You should know that when I'm using the word declassify, it means that this will be declassified, but it can only be accessible by individuals from the government establishment. That means it would not be present in the public. That means general public cannot access this information. Next, whatever records that may be dealing with important operations, that may be dealing with wars like the 1962 war, the 1965 war and the 1998 conflict with the Pakistan, these are sensitive information and these documents are sensitive to the government and to the country. That's why these records may not be declassified even after 25 years. So only the documents which the government feels that are not sensitive anymore could be declassified after 25 years. And once these are declassified, the experts from the Ministry of Defence can look into these documents. So what will be the advantage of declassifying these important documents? First is you can learn lessons from these records. Second is, as you learn lessons from these records, you can prevent such happenings. So by learning whatever things you did not in the first place, you can prevent some bad things that could happen to you in future. And the ministry is stating that after 25 years, once we declassify it, we will send it to the National Archives. So after declassification, these records along with the newly added historical elements will be sent to the National Archives. So what is the National Archives that the ministry is talking about? National Archives is a body which is coming under the Ministry of Culture. It comes under the Ministry of Culture. The National Archives is a body or an organization that will hold all the important documents that are of some value to the government of India. So if the government of India feels that some information, some record will be important or is of some value to it, then it will safeguard these reports and records at the National Archives, which comes under the Ministry of Culture and which is located in the Delhi. So these are the important provisions that the new declassification policy is talking about. Next, we have an article dealing with the reduction of taxes on 14 COVID relief goods. Yesterday, we have seen the 44th GST Council. Yesterday, we have seen the 44th GST Council taking place as a virtual conference, and in this meeting the council has stated that it has agreed to reduce the goods and service taxes which are levied on several COVID relief items. So in the image you can see that the taxes on ambulances, hand sanitizer, temperature checking equipment, medical grade oxygen, other medicines which we are using for COVID relief are reduced. So whatever taxes that are imposed on these important items which we are using for COVID relief and management have been reduced. But what you need to understand is that this reduction in the taxes is not a permanent feature. The GST Council has stated that this reduction in the taxes is only for temporary period of time, that will be till the September 30. Till September 30, this reduction on the GST will continue. And you should also know that the goods and service tax which is levied on the COVID-19 vaccines is not revised. That means the 5% tax which is being imposed on the COVID-19 vaccines will continue so. Next, we have an article dealing with Operation Olivia. So what is the Operation Olivia talking about? Operation Olivia is an operation by the Indian Coast Guard, This is an operation of the Indian Coast Guard to protect the olive ridley turtles. In the image, you can see the olive ridley turtles in the beach, and to protect these turtles, the Indian Coast Guard every year starting from 1980s is launching the Operation Olivia. So we can see that we are protecting the olive ridley turtles. So we'll see about olive ridley turtles. Every year, lakhs of olive ridley turtles come to the Odisha beaches, and they come here to breed and nest. So to give birth to its younger generations, these olive ridley turtles in lakhs come to the Odisha beaches, and these turtles mainly breed at 3 places in the Odisha coast. So there are 3 places where these turtles come and nest. So what are these places? First is the Rushikulya beach. Next is the Gahir Matha beach and the wildlife sanctuary. And the third is the mouth of Devi river. The third place is the mouth of Devi river. So what do you mean by mouth of the Devi river? Mouth of a river means that this is a place where the river is meeting the sea or an ocean. So the place where the Devi river is meeting the ocean is called as the mouth of the Devi river, and it is also an important place of olive ridley turtles nesting site. And there is one important feature regarding these turtles. These turtles in large numbers come to Odisha at only the November to December period, and these turtles mast nest. That means they come to one place and they breed in large numbers, and this phenomenon of large scale nesting and breeding of olive ridley turtles is called as arribadas. It called as arribadas. As we are talking about these important turtles, we should know about their conservation status. According to the IUCN, that is the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, according to this list, these olive ridley turtles is designated as vulnerable species. Vulnerable species. And even in India, these turtles along with 4 other sea turtles have been kept under Schedule 1 of Indian Wildlife Protection Act. So whatever animals, whatever species that are kept under the Schedule 1 of this Wildlife Species Protection Act, they will get huge amount of protection from the government. So this is with respect to the Operation Olivia and the conservation status of the olive ridley turtles. Next we have an article which is dealing about the draft plan of the city of Delhi. So yesterday the Delhi Development Authority has released the draft master plan for Delhi 2041. It has released a plan called as draft master plan for Delhi for the year 2041. According to this plan, the Delhi Development Authority analyzes and proposes Delhi to be a 24-hour city. So what do you mean by a 24-hour city? It means that there will be some businesses, there will be restaurants, there will be entertainment activities that will be taking place for 24 hours in a day. So if you have some cultural activities, you can have some entertainment activities, you can have food selling shops like restaurants and other dining hotels for 24 hours in a day, so that the city can be open for 24 hours in a day for the entire year. So this is a proposal by the Delhi Development Authority. What is the background or what is the reason for this proposal? First is, if you have shops, if you have cultural and entertainment activities that can take place throughout 24 hours, it means you can attract locals and tourists. You can attract locals and tourists all over the world. Next is, as you are attracting the locals and tourists, the economic development in the city of Delhi can take place. As more people are coming together or more people are coming even at night, you can have more amount of profits to people who are opening shops even at the night. So there will be economic development. Next, as more people are coming to the roads and more activities are taking place at night, there will be safety to women even at night. There will be safety to women and children even at night times. So these are some reasons the Delhi Development Authority have stated to bring such a draft master plan for the Delhi for the year 2041. As we can see that this is a draft plan, that means this is just a proposal which is launched, which is released by this authority, and now it is accepting feedback from the people, so that this draft can be modified and can be released later as a full-fledged final policy document. Next we have an article where the union government has called the Odisha government, and it is asking the Odisha government to fix irregularities that have been found by the union government regarding the PMAY-G implementation. So what is this PMAY-G scheme? PMAY stands for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. G stands for Grameen. This is a initiative and a scheme launched by the union government in the year 2016. The objective of this scheme is to help rural people to build pakka houses. So the aim of the scheme is to help the rural households which does not have proper house and which or whom are living in worn out or destroyed houses to have a proper and a pakka house by the end of March 2022. So by the end of March 22, the scheme aims to provide houses to all rural households, and it is providing 1.2 lakh for construction of a house in plain areas, and it will provide 1.3 lakh rupees for construction of a house in hilly areas. Let's say there is a family who is living in a village of Uttar Pradesh, and they might not have a proper house. So to help this family construct a house, the union government will help them by providing them 1.2 lakh rupees, because Uttar Pradesh is a plain area, and this 1.2 lakh rupees will be used by this family for the construction of a new house. So this is the objective of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, which was launched by the union government in the year 2016. Next we have an article dealing with the G7 meeting. Day before yesterday, we have seen the starting of 3-day G7 summit. So the G7 summit, which was started this week, was a 3-day summit. On the very first day, the leaders have agreed to pledge 1 billion COVID-19 vaccine. So after the first day meeting, the G7 member countries have stated that they will provide 1 billion, that is 100 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses to the underdeveloped and to the developing countries. And on the second day, that is yesterday, they have stated that they are coming out with a project. This project is titled as Build Back, Better World, Better World. So what is the project which the G7 member countries have launched yesterday? The Build Back Better World, or the B3W, is a project that will help underdeveloped and developing countries for their infrastructural needs. So this is a infrastructure related project, and the G7 member countries have stated that by bringing in such a project, it is aiming to reduce the influence of China. So how will bringing of such a new project relating to infrastructure reduce the influence of China? China, as we have know, has started a project called as Belt and Road Initiative. Belt and Road Initiative. And through this project, China is providing billions of dollars as loan to developing and underdeveloped countries mainly. And by providing more amount of money as loans, it is doing something called as debt trap diplomacy. Debt trap diplomacy. So what do you mean by debt trap diplomacy, which is being done by China through the Belt and Roads Initiative? We'll see this with an example. China has provided billions of dollars as loan to the Sri Lankan government, so that the country Sri Lanka can invest this money in building the Hambantota port. So this is a seaport which is newly constructed by the Sri Lankan authorities through the loan it has taken from the Chinese government. And later, when the Sri Lankan government could not repay back this loan, the Chinese government has asked to transfer this infrastructure project from the Sri Lankan government to the China. So what we can understand is that by providing loans which the loan taking country could not repay, Chinese government is later on taking access and taking control of infrastructure in these countries. So they are trying to get more influence and they are trying to get infrastructure in other countries through this debt trap policy. And now the G7 countries have stated that we will provide the loans, we will provide other infrastructure requirements to low and developing countries, so that these countries will not go to China requesting money as loans. And apart from launching the Build Back Better World, this G7 summit on the second day have launched a policy or a declaration called as Carbis Bay Declaration. It has brought in something called as the Carbis Bay Declaration. So what is this Carbis Bay Declaration? This is a declaration by the G7 countries, which through this declaration or an agreement stating that we will support each other and will support other countries when it comes to the future pandemics. So when you have a pandemic in future, we will bring in vaccine and will bring in other medical equipment within 100 days. Within 100 days. Also, this agreement states that the global surveillance network will be improved. The global surveillance network will be improved. So why would you want to improve the global surveillance network? Several experts have pointed that the coronavirus first started in the China way back in the December and November of 2019, and Chinese authorities have only come out regarding this virus in the 2020 March and 2020 January. So there is nearly 3 months gap between the first identification of a virus and first informing to the world. So if you have a better global surveillance network, you might be able to know and you will be able to identify new kind of diseases, so that you can take steps faster. So to bring in vaccine within 100 days when it comes to next pandemics, and to improve the global surveillance network, the Carbis Bay Declaration was signed and agreed by the G7 member countries. Next, we have an article where the British Prime Minister Mr. Boris Johnson has warned the European Union over the post-Brexit deal involving the Northern Ireland. So we'll first see the Britain or the United Kingdom. United Kingdom has 4 provinces. In the image, you can see the 4 provinces. First is the province of Scotland. Next is province of England. Next is Wales, and next is Northern Ireland. And till the year 2020, the United Kingdom, which has these 4 provinces, was part of the European Union. It was part of the European Union. European Union is a bloc which is a political and economic bloc of European countries. Until the year 2020, it has 28 countries, and the country United Kingdom has exited or has come out of this bloc. So currently it has 27 member countries, and once the United Kingdom has come out of this bloc, it has made an agreement with the European Union stating that as we have come out of this bloc, we will from now onwards impose taxes on your goods. Similarly, you can also impose taxes on the goods and services which are being produced by the United Kingdom. But what happened was, Britain or the United Kingdom has stated that you can only tax on goods and services which are being produced in 3 provinces of the United Kingdom. So whatever goods and whatever services which are being produced in the Northern Ireland will not be taxed by the European Union, because the Northern Ireland, according to the post-Brexit agreement, will be part of European Union's customs agreement. So the European Union and the Northern Ireland will still continue to have the free trade agreement on the goods and services, whereas whatever goods that are being produced in the other 3 provinces of the United Kingdom will be taxed if they have to enter the European Union. And the agreement stated that as Northern Ireland is a part of the customs union of European Union, whatever goods which are being sent to the Northern Ireland from the other provinces of United Kingdom, they have to be taxed. So the agreement stated if you want to send goods even to the Northern Islands, you have to pay taxes at the border of the Northern Ireland, because Northern Ireland according to the agreement will be part of the European Union customs, and the Britain have accepted this deal. And now the British government, when it is sending goods and services to the Northern Ireland, it is not following this provision. So there is some differences between the European Union and the members, and now the British PM has warned the European Union that if you are not giving us a solution to the problem, then we might come out of this agreement or the deal. Next we have an article dealing with the revision of policy regarding the FAME 2 scheme. So what is this FAME 2 scheme that has been revised by the government yesterday? FAME stands for, next we have an article dealing with the modification of subsidies given by the FAME 2 scheme. So what is the FAME 2 scheme that is in the news? FAME stands for faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. Faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. Through this scheme, the government is promoting and incentivizing the electric vehicle buyers. So this is a scheme that will incentivize and promote electric vehicle sales in the country. So what will this scheme do? This scheme will provide subsidy to the electric vehicle buyers, and yesterday the subsidy given to the scheme is increased from 10,000 per kilowatt to 15,000 per kilowatt. Let's assume that you are planning to buy an electric vehicle at 1 lakh rupees, and if you feel that 1 lakh rupees is a high amount, you might not buy this electric vehicle. So what the government will do is, the government will subsidize this vehicle. So if the government say that we will provide 35,000 rupees as a subsidy and you have to pay only 65,000 rupees, more amount of people can go and buy this vehicle. That's why the government has come out with this FAME scheme. So what you need to understand is that FAME, which stands for Faster Adoption Manufacturing of Electric Vehicles, is a scheme launched by the government, and currently it is in phase 2. That means earlier the government has completed phase 1 of this scheme and now we are in phase 2, and it deals with promotion and incentivizing of electric vehicle sales in the country. Next we have an article where the DIPAM and the Niti Aayog has accepted the BEML plan regarding the creation of a new wholesale subsidiary. So what is the BEML that is in the news? BEML stands for Bharat Earth Movers Limited. This is a public sector enterprise that is manufacturing equipment relating to the mining industries and other heavy earth industries, and this is owned by the government of India. And now as the government is planning to sell a majority of the BEML, what it is doing is it is doing away, or it is moving its surplus assets to other company. So it is moving its surplus assets to other company, and to transfer the surplus assets to other company, BEML has proposed incorporation of a new company, and both the Niti Aayog and DIPAM, which stands for Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, has accepted this proposal. And with this we have come to the end of this session. inform about ADOT's initiative to your other aspirant friends, and you can go and visit our website for attempting mock test based on the daily current affairs. Thank you.
ADOT Solutions. Add-on Desired.